everyone to Authentic Conversations, episode 1.25. I'm here with Mariya again. So this is the 0.25 is a branch off of our episode 1 conversation, which if you haven't seen, please go check that out. And then you have loads of chapters you can dive in at any point. But today's episode is all about gratitude, and Mariya speaking more about creating space for the power of gratitude and speaking about applied spirituality. So Mariya, welcome back. Thanks again for collaborating and bringing forth this idea about going deeper and speaking about gratitude.
Hi, Ryan. Thank you for having me here again. I'm so happy to have our nice conversation. Gratitude is such a profound subject. So what are we going to talk about this time?
So I think like how you personally define it, like why we're bringing this to everyone today as well, right? Like why is gratitude important? What does it mean to you? And what's your connection? Like what is applied spirituality, and what's the connection between gratitude and that phrase which you shared with me?
Okay, so the importance for me personally, gratitude has been instrumental in the entire reframing and changing my mindset, the way I approach life. And in terms of applied spirituality and just practicing, it's similar with yoga, you know, when you study yoga and you realize it's so much more than the asanas, and you kind of live that way. So you live the spiritual way or the yogic way. Gratitude has been really instrumental in making it happen, making it possible. It brought a lot of balance, a lot of acceptance in daily life, a lot of peace of mind.
So acceptance in what way? Like
I think
acceptance of what?
acceptance in spiritual terms of the fact, I believe it's a fact, that the universe is ever evolving and ever changing.
Yeah.
Nothing stays the same. And I think our human brain, you know, like the monkey brain, it wants to freeze the moment. It wants to like create this sense of stability. But while it's good to strive for stability, I feel that sometimes it can almost lead to toxicity and to a lot of clenching onto things. Whereas if we accept, so for me, gratitude helps me accept the impermanence of life, the impermanence and constant change of the universe. And it made me aware at any given moment, like now having this conversation with you, our authentic conversations, I'm so appreciative of us sharing this energy, of us being in this moment, everything working, oh, they are looking good, everything is in the right place.
Yeah.
And it's just a fleeting moment. But if we're grateful for it, it gets imprinted in the heart. And that is kind of this, just applying spirituality in daily little things.
Yeah, and like the other language that a lot of people are familiar with is like the law of attraction, that once you start this practice as well, like there's going to be more things to be grateful for. You will find like there's never-ending expansion and depth.
Absolutely. I love the law of attraction and the concept where you start with appreciating what you do have and practicing gratitude for that, and then more good things come, and then you notice more things, and then you attract better things in your life.
And once again, it goes back to the mind. This is where everything is happening, right? So you know, your practice of gratitude is like just grateful for that, like my mind and the expansion of like, look at what I can do, look at what I can change, what I can shift. And this can lead us into these next questions of action steps, like actionable things that people can take a baby step towards with creating space for gratitude. Like this is part of the name of the episode, is not just speaking about gratitude and all the great benefits of, but being able to create that space within everyone's individual environments to be able to start to like action is you're doing it, so it's like woohoo, you're feeling it. So can you share what you have seen for yourself and then what you share with others? And it's for you to say whatever you like on this. Sharing is caring.
Yes, personal
Go ahead.
experiences are quite powerful, right? So,
But it's the most powerful, like that's where our faith comes from, right? And then like we speak from the heart through experience. And that's the essence of authenticity for me as well, right? Like our awareness as we know it, as we're becoming uh, greater.
mhm. I think for me personally, the most powerful tool at the time was the gratitude journal. And I just did like this kind of simple journal. I think at that time it was a 5-minute journal, but now you can find similar journals, or you can just take any notepad and write 3 things I'm grateful for today.
Yeah.
End of the day, you carve out 2 minutes to reflect and you think about, oh, that nice person held the door for me when I was getting out of the grocery store. Oh, my kids did something nice and set up the best meal. You know what I mean? Like little.
Yeah.
And the second powerful tool was mindfulness. And mindfulness helped me cultivate more spaces for gratitude throughout the day. And for me, it was also partly linked with photography because, you're like, okay, I'm going to capture something beautiful in the city. And you look and like, wow, this is so beautiful. And that is so beautiful. And when you actually start paying attention, you start being in the present moment and you notice so much beauty around
You're
you.
like on a treasure hunt, aren't you? It's amazing.
Absolutely. Exactly right.
But this is like this, like the beauty of how you can shift your energy, right? Like this feeling state. So just taking that time and then how like the deeper that you can feel all these feelings about gratitude, not just saying the words like, gosh, I don't know what to feel. It's like connect with the stuff that you really love and like it's more powerful and you get that feeling state and then you can keep writing that as you're saying, the more you notice and like, oh my gosh, there's so much to be grateful for.
Mhm.
I'm alive. Yeah.
And the beauty of it is that the more you practice it, at least the way it works for me, the more I practiced it, the easier it became. And now I almost kind of like I constantly notice
It's like
things
more automatic, right?
grateful for. Yes, even like a butterfly. You're like, oh, butterfly, and then you smile. And it's just the more you feel this expansive feeling in your heart chakra, I believe, the more you kind of live your life in line with the law of attraction, with the applied spirituality. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's like open-hearted. It's courageous, like cœur in French is heart, right? Courage. It's like open-hearted, living from your heart. It's the center. It's the heart chakra is like your center of the chakras, right?
Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot to there's a lot to talk about. I'll go to the our next question that we spoke about. So is there a specific story that you'd like to share that has kind of brought you to like this pivotal point in your life that really has emphasized the importance of gratitude, of living more mindfully in the moments, and then as an adult you've kind of anchored back to that and been like, oh, like a part of your transformation, like an early transformation of this like level of being grateful for the moment, being more mindful, viewing the world with more lens of gratitude, and then it's rippled out the rest of your life.
I think in my childhood, I was also raised with a lot of gratitude in mind. It was a bit of a unconventional, complicated period in history, um, especially my early childhood. So I was taught by my grandparents to be appreciative of the little things, like making a little figurine out of brunch,
Mm,
making pastries out of just, flour, water, salt, sugar, and not much else.
yeah.
you learn to appreciate the simple things and the human connection, and listening to the same story maybe 10th time, but finding new meaning because, as you grow, your understanding of a story changes. So yeah, I think that training, that foundation helped me get back to it when I got back to gratitude as an adult.
Yeah, you had a good foundation in that time in your life, right?
Yes.
You're also, can you share, would you like to share again? You shared with me like your patience,
Oh,
your early development of patience, because I was expressing my gratitude for Maria's patience while we were sorting out some technical glitches. And then she told me a story. If you'd like to share it, I think it's just part of your story that puts this into a beautiful perspective.
I think I had quite a character forming early years because um, basically when I was a young child, just the historic period was very complicated, and in my family, in the whole society, we had to queue up for things. And queue up for things not for like 20 minutes or whatever, but like for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. And that applied to everything from a loaf of bread to new shoes to a book. And it was this growing up with constantly standing in queues, and also like no matter the weather, it could be very, very hot in summer, and it was blistering cold in winter. And
Yeah,
there was no other choice because, we're also queuing up for essentials. So if you don't get the bread, you don't get the bread. You don't have the bread.
yeah. It's how to be more like patient. Like patience is calm when it's uncomfortable situation, waiting for a long time, bad weather, like it challenges you and it keeps you humble. And like you said, everything you've developed from those experiences.
Yeah, it was a good exercise in a way because, in the end, I mean, there are also a lot more aspects to my early years with like absence of basic utilities for extended periods of time and all that,
Yeah,
which make me still very appreciative of just, every time I get in a nice hot bath and I know that I open the tap, hot water is going to flow.
yeah.
Me, that is like this still mind-blowing sort of thing that I'm really deeply like I get in my bath and I'm grateful, like here, I feel it, for having running water, which works, for having a warm home, convenience, and all these little things. Yeah,
This is like, yeah, gratitude for these needs being fulfilled in ways that when you were a child it was like a dream, right? Like you're living your dream with regards to that.
yeah, just what may seem like, and my kids, of course, sometimes when I mention these things to my oldest, and like, mommy had to do homework with a candle.
Yeah,
There was no electricity for 5 days, and like stuff like that. Yeah, for him, it's I think
but they
it's
haven't experienced it. Like they can hear the stories and like, feel your emotion when you tell it, but for all of us it's like it's through the experience that we transform.
yeah, makes you appreciative of of little things. And I notice they don't have, like, to them, this is such a normal part of life to have like this predictability and stability. And I'm actually also grateful for that I was able to give that to my kids, that they don't have to for that. But yeah, makes you, that's actually an interesting thing where something which could be objectively considered negative as an experience, perhaps, or challenging, in the long run can lead to a positive transformation or positive impact.
Yeah, because you've transmuted it, like you've transformed it by all of your awareness, by like holding, using those as your foundation as you're navigating like the challenges of life, and losing your way and coming back to it. Whatever is specifically unique to why it's brought you to where you're at right now. and why it's still so important, and all of this, everything else along the path, right? And then this has been with you the whole time.
With the power of gratitude.
Yeah, 100%. And this is like one of our other questions, like on the same line about gratitude shift and how it shifts the mindset and the energy, and then how that's connected. Like we use once again, like the law of attraction, like the energy that we're putting out, what we put out, it's coming back to us. So manifesting abundance, spiritual growth. So, it's kind of like closing it out. Like, how would you close this out? And then we'll segue into our last connection, and then on to our next episode, planned episode that we want to do. So how would you sum up like this connection between the gratitude, applied spirituality, the laws that we've spoken about as well? Like, what's your bigger connection? How would you emphasize to people why they're what they can take away, like the biggest takeaway that they can have, and it's just in your own words?
Well, I think the biggest thing that's once we let gratitude into our life and make space for it consciously, then slowly, slowly, slowly it starts transforming the way we view the world, the way we assess things happening around us, and it makes us more calm, and it gives us faith in a way. Faith that things are working out for the better, that changes are ultimately leading to something positive, and helps combat fear. Because it's also a bit like I asked you if I can use this reference, but Star Wars, like Anakin's story.
Yeah.
Was trying to hold on and too tight. And he was trying to, instead of like just surfing the waves of change and letting be, he was kind of trying to change life itself and more things. And I think it's a good lesson how gratitude in the end it's a good lesson of what happens when we don't have the gratitude and when we want to exercise too much.
We become angry, bitter, like all of these emotions, jealous.
Fear leads to
fearful.
anger.
Yeah.
All that. Whereas gratitude and appreciating the moment, knowing, okay, I only have this. The only thing guaranteed is this moment right now, and within my power is to not be looking at my phone, not be doing something else, being really mindful and aware. And maybe it will never happen again.
Yeah.
And it's all right.
Yeah. This is like when you are practicing this gratitude, like forgiveness becomes easier as well. And this is this segue into, even like this Anakin connection. Right? Forgive, let it go. To me, like underneath anger is sadness. Like if I'm sad about something, like me missing the mark or not doing something, or someone, whatever, like I'm not forgiving someone else for something, like there's a disconnection, and I don't express the sadness, anger will come after that, like levels of like frustration and anger. But the forgiveness practice has helped me so much within this, like including this forgiveness and then the gratitude together, like combining them together, more powerful together. So can you, and this will be our closing thoughts, and our plan is for our next episode 1.5 to dive deeper into forgiveness, but I'll hand it over for you to finish why you brought this up, this connection between forgiveness and gratitude.
Well, because forgiveness is very important, but is very hard to achieve sometimes. And for me, it was an experience many years ago when I was really struggling to forgive certain situations and people, until I realized that I was grateful for the person I became thanks to those challenging situations and the way people were acting and treating me.
Yeah.
Because I would never have known how strong I am. I would never have known how much I can do had it known been for people and situations putting me to the test. So it's a little bit like being grateful to like a really heavy dumbbell for being so heavy so I can grow better muscles, you know? It's like, and that's understanding, it brought me forgiveness.
Yeah. It shifted your lens of how you viewed everything, right? Not like a victim, but like connecting to your faith again, like this bigger flow of everything, allow you to zoom out enough to be like, okay, I get it. Thank you. Thank you for these lessons. Yeah, it's beautiful. So we will speak more on forgiveness, and then like once again, like action steps, how people can implement it, and just you sharing your story once again is always beneficial for people to, you know, take some action based on how this resonates. So thank you once again, Mariya, for being here, episode 1.25, sharing more about gratitude, the power of gratitude, and creating space for that and applied spirituality. So we look forward to seeing you next time, Mariya. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for you, soul sister.
And I'm grateful for you, soul brother. Thank you.
Thank you.